Liam, it was an eventful afternoon, but eventually you came through as victors with 10 men, and you must be delighted with not only the outcome but also the way in which we've gone about winning that match.
Yeah, as you know, the worrying thing is that I'd saw early on the referee was incredibly poor. He was weak, but he seems to be extremely weak in there, you know, against everything 50-50, every 60-40, everything which he could have gone and give against us, he did. You know, I just said to him at the end, I bet you're devastated we've won. And you know, and that was true. You know, in all my years, I can't recall an individual refereeing performance as bad as it was. Don't get me wrong, I'm not disagreeing with the yellow card for David Lynch in the first half. I said the one in the second half was soft, but he couldn't wait to do it. The initial thing from Lynch's dissent, it was the manner of the fouls he was given, which actually was frustrating the players. But again, you can't speak to them, so it is what it is. But probably take away the grit, the determination. People playing out of position. Brad Perez had to come and play in the middle of the pitch and done great. You know, he's not a middle of midfielder. We didn't have another middle of midfielder on the bench. The options had changed, weren't there. The only option we had was to bring on young Morgan, and I thought he was fabulous when he come on. You know, I do think there's something of a special player in there, and you know, with the right encouragement, right environment, I think he could blossom into a very good player.
In terms of that victory though, to come back 1-1 and down to 10 men to go on and win, and obviously we've looked for that elusive win at home all season. How important is that, and how important is it to be in the first round of the FA Cup?
Well, you know, at the start of the year, I think my 3 targets were, you know, have a cup run. Now this is classed as a cup run. We've reached the first round. We've brought in £49,000, so that's ticked off. Now, I'm not saying we can't go further in the FA Cup, because we certainly can. You know, the draw's got to be kind on Monday, but it's something we can look forward to. We want to have a go in a county cup, because it's nice to always win a trophy, and we need to reduce the numbers in the squad, improve the quality in the squad, try and get an identity in the football club, try and get us to play a little bit better than what we have been, and move up the league. And that's what I'm doing. I've actually tried to do it in a brave way. I could have actually gone in and brought a load of experience, or, you know, seasoned pros in, and thought, well, that'll get me through this year, and then maybe next year I'll have to rip it up again. I said I'm trying to do it in the right way, which, you know, I did back in 2003. Young unknowns, try and get them in the door, get good footballers in the place, and try and build it. Try and get the players to, you know, the fans to identify with our own players, and then, you know, build the club in the right way.
You made a change there and brought young Morgan Smith in down the left-hand side, and Dion Charles was the player taken off. Didn't particularly go down well with the fans, but in terms of talking about bravery and making those decisions, sometimes you have to make decisions. So it was a key one in the game, maybe.
Well, Dion wasn't great today. You know, first half he was caught offside too many times, and you know, when you're down to 10 men, you've actually got to do the defensive side of the game. You know, there was one or two occasions where he's got a little bit of trickery, where he's got to use his composure, and I actually thought when Morgan come on, he showed more composure. He gives us more balance, but he's certainly more aware defensively, and managed to break at times. And you know, actually later on we look like the only team who's going to score, in the fact that I know they've had a bit of territorial advantage, but you know, on the break Devan's had a few runaways, and you know, so, but just pleased for everyone in the club, the fans, you know, the players. It must be hard having the monkey of not winning at home since February, whatever it is, on your back. And you could sense there's always a bit of nervous. There has been from day one, and I've been back here, a nervousness around the place. But hopefully that leads us into a big league game next week. We can build on it.
As I walk around the ground, people keep asking me to ask you, Jason Gilchrist, why doesn't he play? He scored so many goals last season. Is he not involved?
Well, you know, I've spoke to Jason. I actually don't think at the start of the season his work rate was good enough to be in the team. I'm desperate to get him in the team. And I think the last few weeks he's shown a real much improved appetite in training. He spoke, he showed, you know, he's desperate to get in the team. And make one thing, I like Jason Gilchrist. I think Jason A is a good lad, and B, he's actually a very, very good finisher. But at the minute, us as a team, you know, we haven't been great. I said, I'm the first to admit it. So when you're not great, you've all got to work your socks off. And at this moment in time, I think Dion gives us that little bit more pressing, and also the options to go in behind. But that doesn't mean to say I can see Jason very, very surely coming in the team, and when he comes in the team, I can see him getting goals and see him staying in the team.
and as you move forward now, it's two more home games with that victory here in the cup, getting the monkey off the back in terms of a home victory. How important are those next 2 home matches?
Massive. Like FC United have gone to Kidderminster and won today and stuff like that. You know, there's always results, but we can only concentrate on ourselves. And you know, as I said, where we are, we've got a run of games where we can hopefully pick up points, building confidence. We're playing Huddersfield on Tuesday in a friendly at 12 o'clock here. Again, gives everyone who hasn't played, it gives them a run out, it gives one or two of the others an opportunity to actually, you know, get more minutes under the belt, get a bit of a sharpness, and you know, it's all positive from that. But you know, we're only going to be judged by the fact of how many games we win.
Thank you very much.